What's going on, guys? Isaiah here. Alright, so I've gotten a number of responses in the comments to my response to Vegan Gains Wrong Millennial debate. And, yeah, this type of rhetoric always seems to happen whenever I bring these issues up, because the argument that I make is actually extremely, it can really be disheartening for a lot of people to accept that method of thinking for their worldview, because a lot of people, when you think about morality, good and evil, you think about it as a concept that you can't fathom it not being real, right? Most people, we would say have a concept of good and evil, correct? And the arguments that I make when I'm talking about veganism and its ability to be argued morally and ethically, there really is nothing people can say other than to sort of play a game of semantics about it. And this always happens. And here's the fact of the matter, guys. If you believe that we're a product of time, matter, and chance, if you believe in naturalism, the truth is that good and evil don't objectively exist. Okay, they subjectively exist on that worldview, meaning they pertain to individual feelings, thoughts, opinions, things of that nature. And that's a problem when you're talking about veganism. Veganism isn't rooted in objectivity, it's rooted in a subjective foundation of morality, okay? And that's the basic truth. I mean, you really can't get past that. If you don't believe in anything, let's just posit that you don't believe in a higher power, okay? I'm not arguing for the existence of God. I'm just saying that if you don't, good and evil on your worldview are just an abstract concept that we made up. It doesn't actually exist in reality. And because if we're a product of time, matter, and chance, where did good and evil even come from in that worldview? You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't make sense on a naturalistic worldview, which most vegans seem to be naturalists, to say that it's objectively wrong to kill or that anything is objectively wrong, or that anything is objectively good on that same token. And that's the thing that I'm arguing, okay? It's saddening for a lot of people to think that way, but you can't really get past it. I have not had one person yet give me an objective standard for their morality, just a whole lot of arguing. And I was getting into a discussion with this one guy who really wasn't getting it. And he even taunted me at one point. He was like, "Oh, so morality is subjective, therefore it's justified to kill animals." LOL. Yeah, that's actually pretty much the point that I'm trying to make. When your morality is subjective, it actually is justifiable to kill another being, okay, to end their life, all right, because you're trying to argue a subjective standard, and all it takes is another subjective standard to stalemate that standard. You get what I'm saying? And it doesn't really get much simpler than that. So, yeah, and as far as going back to the traits, with the thing about ask yourself, the trait is an all-encompassing thing. Okay, the fact of the matter is, on a naturalistic worldview, and ask yourself, I'm pretty sure he doesn't believe in a higher being at all. On a naturalistic worldview, he said something along the lines of, if aliens were to come and they were more powerful than us, would they be justified in killing us? On naturalism, yes, they would be, okay? On naturalism, all right? Because it's all a hierarchy of animals, okay? And they would then be the apex predator. We are the apex predator in this world. And if a being were to come that was more powerful than us, then yes, they would have justification on naturalism to kill us if they wanted to eat us, okay? And that's basically the point I'm trying to make. When you don't believe in any sort of higher being, morality is an abstract concept that simply exists in your mind. That's the point. And so you can't argue a moral standard that on your worldview doesn't actually exist. Okay, and here's a little bonus for anybody watching this. Vegan Gains has said in the past before that he doesn't believe in any sort of physiological adaptation for eating meat. And although as far as the way our system processes meat, I'm really prone to agreeing with that. As far as any sort of physiological adaptation, I want somebody to answer this. Why do you guys believe we have such great endurance for running? How did we come to be such great runners as humans? I'm actually about to go for a run right now, and that's my question to you guys. How do you guys believe we became such great runners? I mean, you don't really have to chase fruit and berries and vegetables plantation. They just stay still. There's no need for that. I believe honestly it's because we were hunting, and that's as far as any physiological adaptation goes. But besides that, I just want to say this: I'm in favor of veganism. Okay, people, they just don't get it. I'm actually going to go vegan for health reasons, but I understand the moral and ethical failings of veganism to be morally argued against other people who choose to eat meat. And that's that, guys. So, again, if you want to argue a moral thing and you're not giving me an objective basis for your beliefs, and you're just talking about how you feel about animals being killed, I don't really care for it. Sorry to say that, because that's just arguing around the point, and that's honestly the crux of veganism. I'm absolutely not seeing any, like, I want there to be a way. I need people to understand that. I want there to be a way to argue veganism on naturalism without it being subjective. I want that, but I'm not seeing it, and nobody has been able to demonstrate that yet in the comments that I've been getting. And you can dislike this video all you want, but I challenge you to throw down an objective standard, and I'll concede my points. It's that simple. But besides that, guys, think about that question. Why are we so great at running? Why do we have so much endurance if we have absolutely no physiological adaptations to eating meat? Like, I understand the whole saturated fat ordeal, risk of heart disease. I get that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying any physiological adaptation. I believe our endurance for running is a physiological adaptation for eating meat. So that's that, guys. And yeah, basically, let me hear your opinions. Thank you for watching. Even if you disagree with me, I still love you. But nah, yeah. So let me hear what you guys have to say. In all honesty, because again, I love these discussions, and I love to hear other people's thoughts and opinions. So, y'all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.